to see you.
David, welcome to Albuquerque and welcome to the Tea Party. You, sir, were a child of the radical 60s. How did you...
More like the radical 30s.
How did you make the transition from liberal to conservative? What was your
well,
journey?
I was never a liberal, and I have spent 20 years trying to persuade conservatives not to call them liberals, because they're not. We're liberal. We believe in two sides to a conversation. We believe in letting the other person finish their sentence if they're debating us. These people are bigoted, they're intolerant, and they're socialists, and they want to control everybody's life. And this is a year when everybody seems to be waking up because of the Obama steamroller, their arrogance, the way they accumulate power, the way they spend other people's money, has been a wake-up call, which is very good, and the Tea Parties are the best part of that.
What was your change?
My parents were communists, is how I got to be on the left. And I was, I guess you could say, a leader of there was no new left. The new left was just children of the old left that were changing their name a little to fool people. As they changed their name then from new left to liberal and from liberal to progressive, so that their misdeeds don't catch up with them. That's basically what that's about. And became involved with the Black Panther Party. I was taken with the leader of the Panthers, and I raised a lot of money and bought a Baptist church in Oakland's inner city, and turned it over to the Panthers to use as a school. And I recruited my bookkeeper at Ramparts to keep the books of the school, because I had made it a tax-exempt foundation. And in December 1974, this woman, whose name was Betty Van Patter, was the mother of 3 children, disappeared. And by the time, 5 weeks later, that the police fished her body out of San Francisco Bay, I knew the Panthers had murdered her. I had 4 children at the time, and their lives were in danger. And that was really the end of, I never did anything as a leftist after that. It happened to coincide with events in Asia, which showed me that I had been living a lie politically in the kind of general sphere as well, not just with the Panthers in Oakland. All our enemies had said that if the United States, we of course wanted the United States to lose the war. That's what I hate it when people call these peace movements. Withdraw the troops now was, well, if you're in a war and one side withdraws, the other side wins. And that's what the left wanted. Our opponents, Nixon and whoever, said there would be a bloodbath. And we said, oh no, there wouldn't, that Vietnam would be liberated, all the bad guys are on our side. And Betty, as I say, disappeared in December 1974. Her body was discovered in February. In January, a new Democratic Congress, Democrat-controlled Congress, it was new, came into office. It was new because it was the Watergate generation, and it was filled with radicals. And the first thing the new Democratic Congress did was to cut off economic aid and military supplies. America had withdrawn its troops 2 years before from Indochina. That was January. In April, the governments of Cambodia and South Vietnam fell. The North Vietnamese communists, who were backed by the Chinese, proceeded to slaughter 2.5 million people, one of the great, worst atrocities of the 20th century. And the blood of all those Vietnamese is on the heads of Teddy Kennedy and Howard Dean and Bill and Hillary Clinton and Jane Fonda and Tom Hayden. I don't know one Democrat who said, I'm really sorry for what we did in Vietnam. Not one. Democrats are very proud, actually, of what they did. because they have suppressed what actually happened when the war was ended. And this is one of my gripes. I hope the Tea Party changes this about conservatives and Republicans, and that is that they fight these political battles with kid gloves on. They allow themselves to be called racist,
Right.
all kinds of ugly names. They never stick to Democrats for what they actually have done. And of course that allowed them to turn their backs on our troops and on the Iraqis in the Iraq War, which they voted for, and then within 3 months turned against, and then lied and said that Bush had snookered them into opposing the war by lying about intelligence.
Right.
And that was the biggest lie of the war, what the Democrats said, because they sat on the intelligence committees. John Kerry was on the intelligence committee.
Jane Harmon.
And, yeah, well, then Jay Rockefeller, I mean, they had access to every piece of intelligence information that the president did. They knew, and they, for political gain, they betrayed our troops and got our men and women killed. And I have yet to hear the Republicans say that. To understand leftists, and I mean virtually the whole Democratic Party, not the people who vote for it, because if you may have noticed that every time the Democrats run for office, they lie through their teeth and claim to be against deficits, against more government spending, for secure borders, whatever lie they need to tell, they tell. But the elected party officials, with very few exceptions, what these people are, aside from, and I have to make one more exception, just the opportunists who go along, they'll just go along with what the pressure is. People driving this party have to be seen in biblical terms. They're religious. And they believe that they look on themselves as social redeemers. But these people think they can change the world and change the people in it. That's what drives them, and that's what makes them dangerous. And if you believe that, you ask me, what would they not do? Suppose you believed in your heart of hearts that you can make a world where everybody's equal, where there's no war, where there's no poverty, everybody has a good chance in life, and so forth and so on. What lie would you not tell? And what crime would you not commit to achieve such a paradise? And the fact is that progressives, I'll repeat that, progressives in power have committed the worst atrocities of the 20th century. This country is near the brink. It's near, I won't say it's this year, but it's nearing a point of no return. Everything that you have come to appreciate and love about this country is in danger of being lost. And we're already losing our security. I mean, we don't have borders. We have a president who apologizes to our enemies and invites them to test us. It's only a matter of time before there is a major atrocity committed in this country. And I have to tell you, the only hope that I see for turning this around is the Tea Party movement, because it represents an awakening on the part of ordinary citizens who normally want nothing to do with politics, because it's dirty, it's disappointing, it's frustrating. The people who do it are not the kind of people that you really want to hang out with. But to see ordinary citizens saying enough is enough and we're going to fight, provided you're willing that you're going to have to fight for a decade and decades to turn this around. But if you will do that, you're the last best hope of this country.
David, thank you, and I'm looking forward to your talk tonight.